Hey guys, welcome to Jack Live. I want to take a second to welcome you all this evening. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you guys watching on the replay, we really appreciate you stopping by, and feel free to share this out there and let us know what you think and make some comments for us and tell us what you think about JaKKed and what you know about us and what we can do to help you catch more fish. That's what we're really all about, and just trying to learn more as a team and learn more as an organization to try to continue to grow this brand that we're really trying to look at here. So we really appreciate all of you stopping by here. We're going to get Mr. Micah on the line here. Micah, if you're on here, go ahead and make a comment real quick for me in the comment section below, and then we'll get it rolling. But Micah Easterling is a JaKKed Pro that's been with us for quite some time, and he is a Alabama hammer, very, very well known and well respected down in Alabama, and we couldn't be happier to have him on the team. We're really excited to continue to grow with him. He's helping us develop some really cool stuff, so really excited about all that, and we're hoping that we can get this rolling here. Micah, like I said, if you're on here, go ahead and put a comment down below, and we'll get you. There we are. And I'm going to invite you now. So we're going to get you in here, and hopefully, hey, there you are.
I'm here.
What's going on, Bubba?
Hey, it's good to be here, Tom, and I appreciate the opportunity, buddy.
Absolutely. Well, guys, if you'll take a moment to invite some of your friends here while we get started. Micah, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody kind of where you're from in the Alabama area?
Yeah, man. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. My home lake is Lake Tuscaloosa. The Warrior River actually runs through the heart of Tuscaloosa, which would be what I would like to call my home lake, but unfortunately, there's more tournaments on Lake Tuscaloosa. So, we have to go there.
Sure.
But, it's great fishing on the river. You have your opportunities for your 20-pound plus bags there. Lake Tuscaloosa, I would say, would be one of your if you catch a double-digit bag there, meaning 10 plus, you're probably going to be in the top 3, if not win it. So it's one of your tougher lakes in the country, but it also teaches you to be a great fisherman just because it is so tough.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, guys, I see some of you guys commenting below. Feel free to put in there where you guys are from that are watching tonight. We'd like to see kind of where we're getting some folks at. Like to say hi to everybody, but we got so many people in here already that I have missed so many. I'm not even going to start now. So Micah draws a crowd apparently, so that's good stuff. So, well, guys, tonight we are going to kind of discuss a few things with Micah, just some of his techniques and things like that he uses, specifically in the wintertime, but really all year long. We'll probably dive into a few different things down there in Alabama. So I know that we're blessed to have him with us tonight, and I really appreciate, Micah, you taking the time out to be here with us and to share some of your knowledge that he catches those big old hammer spots and big old largemouth that I see all the time down there. So why don't you go ahead and start, kind of tell us, what your favorite techniques are for just wintertime fishing as it is right now.
Yeah, man. It's no secret. I stay shallow pretty much year-round just because we have the grass here. I know,
Sure.
Being in a different region, which is different from, I guess, mid-range to northern range. We have grass year-round down here, so I tend to stay shallow. And when I say shallow, which means swimming a jig, which is also my favorite color, Scrubby McScrubberson, which is a JaKKed original.
Why don't you show everybody what that is real quick?
Yeah, I actually have one.
I'm sure a lot of people. Okay, I'm sure a lot of people don't have a clue what that is, but I know anybody that's been around JaKKed for a long time knows exactly what Scrubby is, and it's actually a color that we come up with just kind of kind of having some fun, and it turned out to be a doggone fish catching machine for you.
Yes, it is. Now this is a special made for me 1/4 ounce. Tom kind of went out on a limb there and made me several 1/4 ounce. This is a fish catching machine, guys. I can't lie about it. And people that fish with me and fish against me, they've seen this tied on in the boat, and they've seen me catch fish on this bait. Before that was a black and blue jig, and maybe this spawns from that. But I like to throw just your basic crawl on this. A couple flappers. I'm not your swim bait guy on the back of a swim jig, but maybe it's all the colors in it. I don't know, but it seems to catch them down here. It's a very great color. I've also thrown it on the football jig and other finesse jigs and stuff like that. But the Scrubby McScrubberson is definitely my main staple in the wintertime. I'll fish grass that seems to be dead on top, but it's not dead on the bottom. So the oxygen is not depleted, but it's what we call topped out, and then it folds over. And I will fish, that swim jig through those things. Now my second bait.
Let me back you up to that jig there. It's a little hard to see just because the picture size is so small. But tell us kind of what colors are in there. So you got a green pumpkin, the black and blue color.
That's right.
And what other colors you got?
You'll see a little bit of chartreuse in there, a little bit of pink in there, a little red in there. Like you said, the black and blue. Your green pumpkin colors in there. You have a little bit of everything in there, and I think that may be why that jig appeals. It's just different. It's just a different color. It's not your normal color, Tom, and that's not taking anything away from that color. I just think it's different, and that's why it works.
Absolutely. And that's something that we always see. As a jig manufacturer, we see a lot of different colors that come across, and that's definitely one of the more unique ones. Like I said, we were kind of just messing around, putting that deal together, and hence why it got its name too. But
that's right.
It obviously works for you, and I know you've told a lot of people about it because we get a lot of orders for that particular jig, and I've seen a lot of pictures on social media with that jig hanging out some fish's mouth. And obviously it's working for some other people too. So I hope we didn't bust up your secret by you selling them, helping us sell them around. So.
Hey, I have no secrets, man. I'll share with everybody.
That's right. They still got to go out there and catch them, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
That's right. Well, I hate to cut you off there. What was your second thing you were going to talk about?
I guess my second bait of choice in the wintertime, it's no secret to anybody else, is it's the 413 shaker by JaKKed Baits, which is what a lot of people know as a shaky head. It's a stand-up style head and a football design all together. Now, and there's no secret bait on there. I call it Black Magic, but what a lot of people know it as is a Zoom black trickworm. That color will catch it anywhere in the country. I can promise you that. I'll throw that. Now, if you see me down the lake throwing this color right here, I'm struggling, Tom. I can't catch them shallow. I'm down there on a bluff wall or I'm down on a long point throwing this. I'm struggling. But this bait will bail you out of a bad situation. It's 2 o'clock and you have 2 fish in the boat. Pick this bait up right here and you're almost sure to put your limit together.
That's right. And I don't know if you may not know, but we call it a 413 shaker from actually a Bible verse that says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me."
That's right.
So that kind of goes along with the same deal, that it kind of bails you out of tough situations and being able to do a multitude of different things, from swimming it to hopping it to fishing like a jig or whatever you want to do with it. So
I agree. It's
that's
a great
awesome.
bait. A great bait, and you'll see here, it's actually a great hook for a shaky head. It's better than a lot of competitors, and I'm not one for calling names, but other guys have their other brands that they throw, but this is a great hook for a shaky head style bait. I've never personally straight one out, and I've had the opportunity to catch some pretty good spotted bass on it. And if this old Black Warrior River spotted bass don't straighten it out, I don't think many other fish will straighten it out.
Yes, sir. I'm with you. Well, guys, hey, I wanted to let the folks of you that just come in here. We're talking with Micah Easterling here in Alabama, Tuscaloosa area. He's on our JaKKed Pro staff, and he's just been catching big old fish since well before he come on board with us. But he's a fantastic fisherman and is going to tell us everything he knows or just about anything that you want to know. So definitely feel free to ask some questions, guys, as we go through here, and we'll try to pick a few out to answer them as we go through. But feel free to share this right now with your friends so we can get some more folks in here. We got a pretty full room already, but obviously always more the merrier, as I say. We're in the holiday season, so there you go. So, Micah, so aside from those two JaKKed products that you throw, what's some of your other key baits here in the wintertime that you that kind of help you out a little bit when those two ain't working?
Well, Tom, if those two options just don't seem to get it done for me, I'll still stay shallow, man. I'll take anywhere from a 3/4 ounce to 1.5 ounces Jack tungsten weight, pegged, also with a Jack peg, on a 4/0 hook, and I'll usually rig it with a Sweet Beaver type bait. I'm a Reactions Innovations man when it comes to plastic, and I'll hit those same spots that I was swimming that jig in earlier. It seems to when the water gets cool or cold here in the South, those fish will still stay in that grass, and they seem to put their back up in the water column in that grass. I don't know if they're getting warm or whatever they're doing, but a lot of times in the wintertime, when you pitch that heavyweight over into that matted grass, whether it be a hyson mat, whether it be gator grass, whether it be anything that's matted and gives them cover that draws heat, a lot of times when you pitch that big weight in there, that whole mat will lift up. And when that mat lifts up, usually that fish inhales that bait, no matter if it's 1.5 ounces tungsten with a Sweet Beaver or a beaver style or creature style bait on it. Usually you've got that fish pinned.
And what happens when you're saying that mat lifts up? Is that fish coming up to get
yes,
it?
That's that
wake, or?
Yes, no doubt. That's that fish rising up even higher, because you not only spook that fish, you triggered that fish to bite in a situation where it's survival mode. That fish, I feel like, is not 100% sure what that is, but a fish's only defense is to eat. They don't have arms or legs. They can't fight anything off, so they have that giant mouth, and that's their defense. And I really think, whether it be rock, whether it be wood, whether it be grass, in the wintertime, those fish are going to hang on those things that draw heat. And that's where I enjoy putting that big weight and doing good, during the wintertime.
Sure, absolutely. So talking about a lot of, I guess, what I would call lead and hook or tungsten and hook products, you throw any reaction baits in the wintertime at all?
I do. I'll throw the flash jack a lot, actually, and a lot of people north of here call a lot of the drop shot fishing video game fishing. I've heard Kevin talk about the video game fishing, and of course your jerk plug or your jerk bait fishing. Sure. But Tom, I'll be honest with you, buddy. You see me down the lake in that deep clear water doing that type fishing, I'm struggling. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're struggling. In trouble.
I hear you, man. It's interesting being from a different part of the world, and obviously a lot of people from all over the place don't know anything about Alabama Southern fishing. I'm sure we got a lot of guys and gals on here from up north that have already put their boats away for the winter and stuff like that. But when do you find is the best time to come to Alabama to fish where you're at anyway?
I mean, it may sound cliche, Tom, but
Anytime.
12 months out of the year. Now,
Yeah.
now summertime fishing is tough. I can't lie to you. From about probably from July till right up to the middle of October, I would say. Now, it gets tough. It gets really, really tough, but you can still catch them. And that's part of living in the South. That's not being boastful in any way or anything like that. It's just
That's right.
it seems like we have a plentiful amount of fish. When I
Absolutely.
say it gets tough in the summertime, you can still catch them. They're just going to be a lot smaller. And I don't know where the big fish go. If I did, I promise you, I'd win a lot more.
Yeah, I hear you. So back to that flash jack. For those of you guys don't know, that's our underspin. We did a whole deal last week on it. It's a bait that you can throw a lot of different ways, but these are upside downs. Let me pull this out of the package real quick. But this is a small one. I think this is an 1/8 ounce, but we make these all the way up to a 3/4 ounce. But we talked about this last week on JaKKed Live. What kind of baits are you throwing on this deal down there in the wintertime?
Me, I like to throw the skinny dipper on that. Now it's a bigger plastic. It's a bigger plastic than say your swimming fluke or your little dipper. But I like to throw it on 3/4 ounce head with the bigger bait. That seems to give me the right fall, the right timing, if you will. When I'm fishing for the spotted bass.
Yep, absolutely. Dustin Thompson, he says, "What's your favorite bait when you cross some cables?"
Man, that's kind of a yeah.
I think you know who that is. I'm not sure who that is, but that sounds like an inside joke. Ask me.
I kind of knew that question was going to come out. When people say something about the cable, we have a honey hole here in Tuscaloosa, and it's blocked off by cable by the Corps of Engineers, and there's some hammer spots up there, and a lot of people get accused of crossing that cable to go up there to catch those hammer spots. So they're just giving me beef about that cable.
Yeah, there's some other ones coming here. It looks like it says, "Is that the steering wheel off the old Javelin behind you?"
No, that's a wagon wheel. Just hauling on my baits that I use, man.
Is that Darius's wagon wheel or Oak Crow Medicine Man?
Either one, you call it.
I hear you. Jared says that's where the cables is where they're at. That's for sure.
Hey, I can't disagree with him. There's some big fish. I believe the Alabama state record spots up there. Yes, it's on the Warrior River.
It's on the Warrior River. Okay,
yeah.
I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah,
good stuff. Another guy, Bo, says, "You think you can punch with that Jack Shaky head?"
Bo, it's probably not a punching bait, buddy. Bo's giving me a hard time too, Tom. That's a great guy. Bo's also a local hammer. He can catch them. Gotcha.
I figured we'd have some razzing in here tonight with many guys down there. I know that was kind of a joke, but I know you've seen one of these, and I know you fished with one of these a little bit.
Sir.
But is this a bait that you consider throwing? You talk about a big weight, but fishing this kind of jig. Jig like that.
Oh yeah, the drunk punch. That's coming to effect and to play for me this summer. Actually, I just think it's a different presentation, Tom. A lot of people here will rig up that 1 ounce tungsten and start punching it. And when you got a little that, I know it may not seem different to the untrained eye, but for somebody that fishes a lot, they understand that jig is a different presentation than a 1 ounce, weight with a piece of plastic on it. And yes, I believe that the drunk punch has picked up a few extra fish for me when it gets tough. Yes.
Absolutely. You got another one here, I think is one of your boys here, TK Stanley. He says, "Where do I get a finger attachment used to hold up 4 sticks of firewood? Please answer. I can only hold 2.
Hey, TK Stanley, he's a local hammer, but he lives in Texas now. And for a lot of guys that may see his name, he does a great job custom painting crankbaits. You just Google his name and you'll find TK Stanley. Great dude to work with, very reasonable price. And you just Google some of his pictures and you'll see his work. It speaks for itself.
Absolutely. I'll definitely have to do that. I'm always looking for a good crankbait.
That's right.
Painter. If you can paint some more wiggle warts, TK, we may be in business.
There you go. He can do it. He's your man.
I bet you could. So
hey Tom, before you get to another question, I just want to take a sip of this drink for Kevin.
Yeah. What is that?
It's
Is that
actually
Arkansas? Blue Pig?
it's actually water tonight, but I had to get this. Let me flip it around. Hold on. Yeah, there is a roll tide there for
Oh, there
Kevin.
it is. There it is. I knew that was coming tonight. Oh boy. Dusty Banks says, "Tell us about Muddy Water."
Muddy Water. Dusty Banks is asking, but he can catch them too, man. He's took my money. As far as Muddy Water, I'm putting a big old blade on, Tom, and it's no secret. I'm putting a big old blade on. It's either going to be white painted blades or it's going to be chartreuse painted blades. And I'm putting a big old gaudy trailer on the back of it, and I'm just going for broke, man. I'm staying shallow, and I'm going big. And the reason I say that is when the water is cold and muddy, I really feel like that is probably your worst conditions for fishing for us here in the South.
Sure,
Just because
absolutely.
these fish here, they don't see water much below, I would say, the 46, 47 mark, So when that water falls off real cold, like probably what's coming for us, and it gets muddy, we get a lot of rain, conditions get very, very tough. So if you can throw a big bait that's easily seen, whether it be a big spinner bait with big blades, a big rattle trap with big rattles, and just go for 5 fish. If you get 5 fish to bite that bait, I feel like you'll
They're
have
gonna
a
be the
chance
right
to cash a
ones.
check.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, for some of you guys just tuning in here, we got Mr. Micah Easterling from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and he is on our JaKKed Pro staff, and we're just having a good time chatting about some different fishing techniques for the wintertime down there in Alabama. And if you guys have questions, we're going to try to get to some of these as we are. Brad Kimbrell says, what about a swim jig with a shark hook? We're working on it, Brad. I assume, Micah, is this one of your buddies too?
Hey, man, all the hammers are commenting tonight. Hey, don't let him
I
fool
hear
you.
you.
He likes a big swim jig just like I do.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I can tell you, Brad, it's coming, buddy. We're working on a good one. So hold tight, and we'll get it done. So, um, let's see. Trent Miner, he says, you beat me out of first at Lock 8 early this year. You won by 6 pounds. What did you catch fish on in falling water?
Hey, Trent, I can't let all the secrets out, but buddy, you've took my money too. Trent Miner's an absolute hammer when it catches a spotted bass. I promise you, you can get on his Facebook page and you'll be like, oh my goodness, where does this guy catch these spotted bass at?
Yeah.
Trent, that exact tournament, buddy, I think I had to go very, very small. And a lot of people expected big weights during that tournament, but it just didn't happen. And that's where I broke your 413 shaker out or your shaky head style bait. And we just went to grinding, man. There's no secret behind it. We downsized our line to 8-pound test, which is I don't like to go to 8 or that 6-pound test, but we actually had to because of the falling water. And man, we just got lucky. That's all I can tell you.
Sure. Well, that actually leads me right on this next question Mr. Franklin has. How often does Micah use 6-pound fluorocarbon? So sounds like not very often.
Kevin, buddy, I can't lie to you. I don't know that I own any 6-pound line though. If you ever see me fishing with 6-pound line, I'm in the back of the boat with probably you, Kevin, and that's because you told me what to tie on and throw.
That's right. Either that or he knocked you in the head the night before and you don't know what you're doing anymore. That's right. That's right. What else we got? Samuel Fish says, you ever seen a jellyfish in LT?
Yeah,
I assume that's Lake Tuscaloosa.
Yes, actually I have. We have freshwater jellyfish now, and I can't get anybody to believe me, but I've posted a picture of them, and I've got another buddy that actually caught a few of them and posted them. Freshwater jellyfish is a real thing. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I never even heard of that.
Yeah, they won't hurt you.
Mr. Tony Free. What's that?
They won't hurt you and they won't sting you, but they're real.
Gotcha. Mr. Tony Free, a new addition to the JaKKed team here. He says, did we ever catch a gator in Lake T?
Hey, Mr. Tony Free is an absolute hammer, and he's a guy that a lot of people my age and younger actually look up to. Tony's an absolute pioneer of the sport. Tony will win a tournament, and he can lose a tournament and he will walk across that stage or walk across that microphone the same exact way. You will not know if he wins or loses because he'll shake your hand both times. And the gator on Lake Tuscaloosa comment, there was a lot of people this summer saying they seen a gator on Lake Tuscaloosa, and it's obviously not true, but it's a great ongoing joke and a great time amongst us locals.
There you go. Yeah, man. Just going back to what you mentioned about Mr. Tony there. I mean, that's something that we need in this sport more desperately than any money or any other thing.
Agreed.
In my opinion, I mean, it's one of those things that if you can, you got to learn how to lose and you got to learn how to win.
That's right.
Both ways should be almost identical. And in my opinion, and as a bait company owner, it's more important to me that you're presenting that out there than showboating when you win and being pissed off when you lose. So that's something I appreciate you for as well. And obviously we'll get to know Mr. Tony, and I'm sure we'll do the same there. So I appreciate those comments, and Tony, I appreciate you being that way, and Micah being able to talk about you that way. So that's fantastic. Mr. Bob Hale, if you'll comment somewhere down below, just how to get in touch with you or whatnot. He's asking about dealer info for the store. I'm not sure where you're from or what store you're talking about, but we can get you some of that just as soon as you can get us some information to help you out there.
Who'd you say, Tom? What name?
Bob Hale.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bob's a very, very, very good friend of mine. He's actually the marina that I deal with when I buy my boats or anything for my boat.
Okay.
I can meet with Bob as soon as tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Good deal. Where's he at?
Bob's in Northport, Alabama. Bob's less than about 10 miles from me.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Joseph Lee says, how tall catch them big Grinnells?
How do y'all catch them big Grinnells?
Maybe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I posted a picture this summer. I was in I think it may have been a fruit jar wildcat, something that paid no more than $1,000.
Hang on one second, Michael. What's a grinnell?
For us northern boys. You all may call it bowfin.
Bowfin or mudfish.
Yeah, there you go, mudfish. Okay, we call it grinnell here. Hey, Joseph, he's just an old southern boy like me. We call them grinnells here.
Sure, no, that's fine. I just want to, so everybody knows what's going on, since I know we got people from Minnesota up there too, and they call them mudfish or bowfin up there. So
that's right.
I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page here.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not gonna lie. I had Scrubby McScrubberson, and I was going to work, man. It was my time. It was my jam. It was my tournament to win. I was on the fish. I'm swimming. I'm in tune here. I'm not even talking to my partner. I'm swimming, and the fish bites. It's your kicker, and I set the hook. And Tom, I'll send you the picture personally, and I may repost it on my Facebook. But it
definitely.
Probably wasn't far from a state record, and it hit Scrubby McScrubberson. Yeah, and it was awesome.
They all like that, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, this is for Kevin again, just in case he didn't see it.
Just in case he didn't see. I think he commented something about Vols, or I don't know. They don't know coach
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Something like that. Let's see. What else, guys? What do you do when you get hit with a spark plug in the back? Nathan Rowe wants to know.
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times. When he says spark plug, he's talking about a big weight. Me and Nathan were actually fishing one time, and there was somebody on a dock not far from us, and for whatever reason, they had about a 3/4 ounce weight brim fishing. The brim hook, I'm serious, it was a T-tiny hook, and we had already had a fish over 6 pounds in the boat. And we were sitting in this little aluminum boat out here fishing this ditch in this lake, and all of a sudden I just got hit in the back. And I told him, I said, this felt like a spark plug just hit me in the back. And I looked, and this little young girl, she was reeling her rod and reel up, and it was her brim rig. And I watched it go all the way through this aluminum boat we were sitting in, and she was apologizing the whole time. She said, I'm so sorry.
Oh, my goodness. That's something else. Yeah, that's dangerous when you get around some people that don't fish a whole lot. I've been there, done that too. Mr. Morgan Beaver wants to know, are we going to do the Jack Bates tournament at Gunnersville next year? We are. We are definitely going to do that. Unsure of the weekend for 100% sure, but it'll probably be sometime around the same time. Guys, if you're in the area, we put on a tournament the last couple of years at Gunnersville, and we'd love to have you there. It's an open tournament, between 110, 150 buck entry fee, somewhere in that ballpark. Not sure what we're going to do this year. Trying to do some new things. So definitely, if you're around, come see us, and we'd love to have you. Evan Murray says you need hand-tied jigs. Yeah, that's something that we can do. We'll pay a price for them, but we can do it for sure. Kim Rowe wants to know, Micah can help a wife spend her husband's money on some of his favorite jet dates for her husband's birthday.
That's one of my best friend's wife. Yeah, she hit me up about some product from Jack this year for his birthday, and we got her set up good.
Good deal. Good deal. Tell us about that swim jig hook. Is it a beast? Chris Payne wants to know. Do you know this guy?
Yeah.
Chris Payne?
To call Chris Payne a hammer would be to downgrade Chris Payne. Chris Payne,
I hear you.
He wins enough money to probably pay a mortgage every year.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Drew was talking about him the other day. Does Drew know him too?
Oh yeah. He's Chris Payne's took a lot of money from me and Drew over the years, and and all Chris Payne is waiting on is and there's some things that JaKKed is working on right now, and he's just looking for a hook that may be coming for us Bama boys.
That's right, Chris. We're gonna hook you guys up. Don't worry about that. We're definitely working on that, and yes, it's going to be a beast. It's going to be the hook you guys want. We've actually found another hook, I think, Micah, since I've talked to you about it. That's I'll have to send you a picture later, but it's the real deal. So I'm really excited about it. When I showed Drew, he was pumped up as all get out about it. So yep, we will definitely be getting you boys a jig down there that you can put through the ringer for sure. So Kendall Dye wants to know what makes Scrubby work so well for you.
Kendall, I actually think it's just the difference in color, man. It's the same design as a normal JaKKed swim jig. Everything's the same. I really think it's the difference in color, man. You see all the different. I don't know what to say, but it flat out catches them. Maybe it's because I throw it so much. I don't know. I really can't answer that question, but I've never swam a jig with this many colors in it, and I think that's a lot to do with it. I know Tom's joked about, Micah, we're going to put you on the package and all that. And it's not that I'm just trying to promote this jig that much. It's just that jig really does work that well for me. It's put money in my pocket. I can't lie about that.
Well, and I'm going to comment on that a little bit, because I believe wholeheartedly that even more so than anything that we can make, you've found through us a bait that you got confidence between right here.
That's right.
And it's a bait that you believe that you can catch more fish than anybody else out there on that bait. And when you have that confidence in any bait, no matter what it is, whether it's a JaKKed product or not, you're going to be well suited to be out there slinging it, and you're going to sling it more because you got the confidence in it. And
that's right.
That's just the fact of the matter, and that's something that you young guys on here, Morgan, and a few of the other guys that I know that are on here, that you guys need to know and need to listen to Micah talking about this specific jig, because you can have 150 different colored jigs in your box, but you're going to only throw a couple of them, and those are going to be the ones that you have confidence in, and that's just a fact. So Mr. Junkin wants to know, Micah, how do you keep your beard so well manicured? Do you use products or special trimmers?
I use spinnerbait blades. How about that? I sharpen them and
spinnerbait blades.
Yes, that's it. We'll go with that.
I hear you. Yep, there you go. Man, that was funny. Danny Parker wants to know if we want to put a tournament on the Coosa. That's a possibility. Morgan, yeah, it was kind of a hurricane down there for sure.
Yeah.
That tournament we had. John Gray says, what kind of line do you use on your scrubby, braid or floral? I think I know the answer to this.
Tom, what if you had to guess, Tom, what would you say?
I'd say 65 to 80 pound braid.
There you go. Yes, I'm all in on the braid. I can't bring myself to swim mono or fluorocarbon just because there is that chance of that 6 to 7 pounder, coming up and eating that swim jig, and I would be devastated if I was to lose a fish of that size. I swim at least 50 pound. With our lake here that is so clear, I try to go down to 50 pound. It seems to cut the grass a touch better, and it seems to be just go unnoticed a little bit better. But 50 plus pound braid is what I'm swimming.
That's right. Yeah, and I was just going to mention that I think that's the key is that it's a grass lake. A lot of us, and I'm not sure where Jonathan's from, but a lot of us are, in areas where we don't have grass. So if you're swimming jigs around a boat dock or something, that's a whole different deal. And
of course,
you can use fluorocarbon. But if you're fishing it around grass or, pads or hydrilla, whatever it is, you want that braid because what that braid does, as Micah alluded to, is that it's going to cut through that grass or pad stems or whatever it is, and you're actually going to get those fish out. It's not that you necessarily need that much strength to catch a bass, obviously, as we all know, but it's really the area that you're fishing that's really going to dictate more about what kind of line you're throwing as far as braid goes, for sure. What is your next favorite color? Mike wants to know. Mike Lucky wants to know on that swim jig, I believe he's asking. What's your second favorite color besides Scrubby?
I'll work with Mike Lucky. He's a great guy. I can't lie about it. I've got a black and blue laid right beside Scrubby. I'll throw Scrubby, and if it seems to be a little slow, I'll pick up the black and blue. And I switch between those two a lot. But if on any given day, if I'm fishing for any amount of money, you'll see me with Scrubby on, a black and blue jig on, a white jig on, and a green jig on. And all those will be swimming jigs just because I want to be ready for any situation because those fish that we fish for on Lake Tuscaloosa or here on the Warrior, they seem to be picky, man. And just because you found them on Friday on white does not mean they'll be biting white on Saturday. So you want to have that arsenal set up ready and laid on the front deck with you at all times,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bobby Rose says, what's the name of that jig, that color?
This color here, you talking about, Bobby?
Yeah.
That's Scrubby McScrubberson, baby. You can't
Scrubby McScrubberson.
And actually, at JaKKed Baits, you can get a football head in that. You can get a finesse jig in that. You can get the swim jig in that. You can get a dock rock in that. So just because I'm saying I throw this color on a swim jig all the time does not mean it will not work on any other jig either.
Yep, absolutely. It has its own image on our website at jackbaits.com, Jack Shop. And you can just click on Scrubby McScrubberson. You pick your size, pick your style of head, and we'll put it on whatever head you want there. So that's for sure. Let's see. Kevin mentioned the KP jig. How many times have you got to throw that lately?
It being so new, I'll be honest with everybody. I've only got to take it out twice. And the very first time I took it out, I think it was about a 10-fish type day. I could only had a half a day of fishing, and I was on a spot reservoir, the Warrior River. And I think I ended up catching 8 or 9 of my fish on it and another fish on something else. But the second time I took it out, I was able to catch 30 or 40 fish on it. No big fish yet, but that's only the 2 times that I've used the jig. I would love to lie to you and tell you I catch all 5-pounders on it, but I haven't had the jig in my possession that long,
Not yet, guys. Yeah, this jig is brand new. We just got this out. It is a Keith Poche Power Finesse jig. It is a jig that another Alabama boy here now, transplant, I guess, Keith Poche has designed with JaKKed Baits. And it's a Power Finesse jig. And the unique thing about this jig is it has a big old gaff of a hook in it. So it's going to stand up to that. If you want to throw it on braid, you can throw it on braid. If you want to throw it on heavy fluorocarbon, you can throw it on heavy fluorocarbon. So it's also got a flat spot down there on the bottom, as you can see, that is going to help it skip really well, and then another flat spot on the head, which also helps it roll over the rocks a little bit better and not get hung up so bad.
Show that hook, Tom. Show that hook.
Stiffer weed guard.
Yep. That's what's got a lot of us captivated.
Yep, absolutely. And I'll show you just for comparison purposes. This is actually on a dock rock, but it's a similar to our other finesse jig. But you can see just the difference in the gauge wire on that hook, that you can jack on one of them fish and you're not going to bend that hook out, period. That's what we really like about it. That's what it was designed for. It's got a great keeper on it here. But they come just a single pack in that package there that you've seen. And this is a black blue. It's got a little purple accent in it.
That's a good color.
Really neat looking jig there. So go pick some of these up. Like I said, this is within the last 2 weeks. We just got these. So probably the newest bait on the market by far right now. It's also got your little rattle holes in there, so you can put rattles if you like a rattle. If not, you don't have to use it. So absolutely, guys. Thanks for asking, Kevin. Let's see, what else we got here?
Hey, Tom, can I talk about the Tuscaloosa store that has the baits now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
There's an order that shipped out today, and I kind of let it out a couple days ago without saying the name of the store, but Foul Hooked Outdoors up Highway 43 here in Tuscaloosa has the jacked baits. Actually, they'll be there within a day or two. You can buy any of the products that I use to catch my fish here in the Tuscaloosa area. You can go see Matthew Wooten at Foul Hooked Outdoors, and he'll hook you up with anything you need. And if there's something there that you don't see that Jack Bait carries, Matthew will be able to hook you up within a few days.
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate that. And we just got that order out. So like you said, it should be there by Friday, I would think. I don't know if he'll get it out before Christmas, but I'm sure he'll get it out before the end of the year for sure on the shelves and whatnot. But they got the KP jigs. They got some dock rocks. Like he said, the 413 shakers, swim bait heads, flash jacks, scatter bait, swim jig. You know, he got it all. Tungsten, we got fantastic tungsten prices as well. So he got it all. You guys can go over there, Foul Hooked Outdoors, and pick it up there if you're there locally. If not, you can come see us on the website. But definitely appreciate the help with that, boss man. And
yes, sir.
That's awesome. Michael Templeton says, you think Hoodoo Bait Shop will have them?
That's Michael Templeton. Michael is also a hammer. He his kinfolk is my neighbor. Hodo is actually their last name. And when I tell you them people can catch a fish in a mud hole, I'm not lying. Michael, he doesn't fish a lot of tournaments, but Michael will go during the week and he'll show you some pictures that will absolutely make you jealous.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Mr. Brad says he's going to need a buggy at Foul Hooked. I assume that's what you all call your shopping carts.
Yeah, buggy. That's the term down here. If you go to Walmart, you got to get a buggy. If you go to Winn-Dixie or anything, you got to get a buggy. Brad Kimbrell catches a lot of fish.
Set me straight here. What do you call a cold weather hat that you put on top of your head?
A beanie, a toboggan.
There you go. That's the one I was looking for, a toboggan. I never heard of that before until I started dealing with one of my buddies down there, and he's like, hey, you guys got any of them toboggans? I said, we don't sell sleds. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you got to have a toboggan, man.
That's right.
I'll tell you, a toboggan is what we consider a little bit thicker than a beanie. How about that?
Okay. That makes sense. We're about to have some of them on the website again as well.
Good deal.
Joseph Lee says a boggin. Nathan Rose says a boggin.
There you go.
So that's funny. That's funny. Tucker says, is there anyone down there who is not a hammer?
Well, I tell you what, I fish probably, I would say, 25 to 35 weekends out of the year, and most of those weekends, Tucker, I am not a hammer.
Come on, come on.
I
Quit
can
being
promise you.
modest. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. You just get lucky, right?
That's exactly right. Yep.
That's right. No, all Micah's crew. Julia says all not Micah's crew. They're all hammers. That's funny. Jay Elliott asked if Jack Baits will be sold in local tackle stores around Toledo, Sam Rayburn anytime soon. Man, we definitely will be. We have a gentleman by the name of Zach Gagner who's down there. He was on this Jack Live last week talking about those flash jacks, but he is getting us hooked up with some folks down there, hoping to be in Tackle Addicts. And then, Jay, send me a personal message and let me know what other stores you want us to get in down there. And that goes for anybody that's watching this, anybody that's got stores around them that they want to see Jack Baits in. Just give us a name and give us a phone number or whatever you got, and we'll get them in down there, because that's really what's important. We want to get you guys some local baits and get them in the shops around you guys, so you can go down there and pick them up before you go to your derbies and stuff like that. So that's awesome.
Hey, Tom,
Appreciate
the comment from Julia you mentioned a while ago,
Yep.
she's a friend of mine and a friend of my family, and she is a doctor here in Alabama, and her husband, which is named Aubrey Booth. I have to credit a lot of my knowledge of fishing, a lot of my fishing time has been in the boat with him. His name's Aubrey Booth, and he's an absolute hammer, but even more than that, he's a great guy. He took me fishing when I was a kid, and I didn't know anything, so he took the chance on me, and I made a lifelong friend out of him, and I talk to him probably 2 to 3 times a week now, and it's mostly about fishing, but he's a great guy, and she's a great woman.
Yep, absolutely. And that's something we can all take away from this whole deal, if it's for nothing else, is that every one of us on this Jack Live started somewhere with somebody taking us fishing, and we should really try to return the favor as often as possible.
That's
and
right.
Get these kids out there fishing. And that's something that we believe in at Jack. A big, huge campaign that we do all the time is trying to get kids out there fishing. And part of these proceeds actually for this jig goes to Dylan Kyle Poche Foundation, as you can see on the back of here. And what they do is they give sponsorships to high school anglers as well as younger kids and getting them out fishing. And that's something that we should all take advantage of anytime as possible. Danny, I see your thumbs up in that, and I know you spend a lot of time in the boat with them boys, and that's something that we can't ever take for granted, and something that we need for this generation, as crazy as things are.
I see a lot of pictures of Danny taking kids fishing. I really do.
Absolutely.
It may be his own kids, but I see that more than anything out of Danny.
Absolutely, yeah. He's always out there for sure, for sure. Steve Tingle says, "Will Woods and Water carry these baits?" Blaine, I don't know if you're still on here, but you may be able to answer that better than me. I know we've been working on Mr. Blaine, so we'll see what happens there. Morgan Beaver, send me that information. A&A Tackle. I'm not sure where that's at, but give me some information on there. Mark's Outdoors. I spoke with them today, and they should be getting some stuff after the first of the year.
That's
as well.
Awesome. That's a huge score there.
Yep. They called us about the KP jig. I guess you guys pester them enough down there about it, so that's awesome. So,
that's a huge outdoor store, Tom. Huge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's in Hoover, right?
That's right. Exactly.
Yep. Okay. Dusty Banks says, Michael, what's your favorite bait to beat a hubcap on with?
Man, my friends just won't leave me alone.
You encouraged this. You know that, right? You said they can come on here and pick on you.
I brought this on myself. All right, since he brought that up, and it also goes with some pre-talk that me and you had, Tom.
Sure.
When he says hubcap, I won't say the guy's name, but there's a guy that fishes with us a lot that is a very I don't want to call him sore loser, but he does not lose like he wins. Well, actually, we've never been.
He doesn't lose like Tony. Yep,
that's right. We've actually never seen this guy win either, but there's always an excuse. And there was a question that you asked me, Tom, that you said, what could you share with people that you wish you would known at a younger age? And that is building friends in this industry. Whether you're a good fisherman or not, you can build friends. You know, if you get lucky and you win that $500 Wildcat, or you win that $10,000 Open, you walk off that stage as a winner the same way you walk off that stage as a loser, and that is shaking hands with people that's making friends. You see somebody broke down on the lake and it's 250, you got a big bag of fish, at least stop and ask them, hey, man, what's the problem? How can I help you? Because if you don't have friends in this industry, you have nothing. You know, anybody can go out and fish, okay? But if you don't have anybody to back you up, anybody to say, hey, that guy's a good guy, you have nothing. Gerald Swindle said it best. He said, the day you were born and the day you die is separated by a dash. And the only thing that matters in there is the dash. So
that's right.
You have to make a name for yourself in there. You don't have to be a good fisherman. You don't have to catch fish, but be a friend with everybody. Make a friend with everybody in this industry. Don't be that sour guy that nobody wants to talk to. And that goes a lot to what Dusty was talking about. You know, that guy that he's referring to, it's a nickname for him. And out of respect, I'm not going to call him out on here. He's a very sour individual, and a lot of people don't like dealing with him. So don't be a hubcap. How about that?
There you go. And well, like I said earlier, I appreciate you being that way, and that's one reason, one thing that really attracted Jack Baits to you, and several others that have come about, and it's really how we want to be seen and be known, is being that good winner and that good loser. So definitely goes a long way there for sure. So Miss Brittany Thomas says that's my brother. That's my brother. Proud of you. He's one heck of a fisherman. Is that your sister?
It is. It's my sister, and okay. I appreciate her commenting. Thank you, Brittany.
There you go. Absolutely. What kind of price would that hoodie and hat cost me? Man, these hoodies are like a dry fit material. We don't have them in stock right now. We do pre-orders on a lot of this stuff because they are so expensive. The hoodies are $60. We'll have the hats all the time after the first of the year, but they're $25, so $40, $60, $70, $85 for plus a little bit of shipping. Well, if you're over that much, we won't charge you shipping on that. But anyway, so about $85. But anyway, you can attest. You can see Micah's hat; it's all worn down, and I know he wears it all the time. So he's got a bunch of them there. There you go, for sure. What's the LT secrets? Jonathan Church wants to know.
Hey, everybody wants to know LT secret. All I can tell him is put time in on the lake. Jonathan knows. He's been up there a bunch of times. He's just giving me a hard time. I've been fortunate enough the last two Opens to do very, very, very well up there. And fish what you know is all I can tell anybody that fishes that tough lake.
Yep, absolutely. Kendall Dye wants to know, what's your confidence bait during 15-mile-an-hour plus wind and after rain?
Kendall, the three baits I mentioned earlier are always my confidence bait. If the wind's blowing 15, 20 miles an hour like that, say you got a halfway decent day, just high winds, buddy, you'll catch me throwing a double willow leaf spinner bait. Those spinner baits are hard to find now, but I like two silver willow leaf spinner baits, the exact same size, and probably around a half ounce. And I'll just I'll throw that spinner bait around anything that looks like it may hold a fish for me on a day with that much wind.
Sure, absolutely. Justin Hammer wants to know, when you toss them jewels amongst the shallows, will jack baits handle a 20-foot mobile Delta alligator?
What? Justin's one of my best friends. We call him Juke. He's a great guy. Also, I fished the ABT trail, and I had a great, lucky. How about that? I had a lucky finish down in Mobile, and I caught one fish during practice. Me and my partner Hunter McKinley, and during that practice time, we ended up catching about a 12 to 13-foot gator. On a jig, yeah, or no, actually on a spinnerbait. I'm sorry, and I did a small interview for ABT, and I standing outside a restaurant. I said I tossed that jewel amongst the shallows. So now I catch a lot of repercussion for saying that.
Yeah, yep, I hear you. That's funny. TK Stanley says Micah said if I fished jack baits, I would run Gabriel Swamp on plane.
No, that's definitely a no. No, nobody except Jesus can run Gabriel Swamp on plane.
I assume there's some stumps in there or what?
Yeah, it's only about a 45-minute idle in there, and yes, it's on the Black Warrior River.
Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy.
Hey, Kevin, it's for you again, buddy.
Travis Seletsky says, I wish the lakes didn't get hard here in Wisconsin. My boat's in storage. Bring on March for Gunnersville. I'll be throwing a KP and a dock rock. Man, I feel for them guys up there.
Yes.
You know, they do make these companies that I think it's called U-Haul, that you could throw all your stuff in it. You can sell your house, and you can move down south where the lakes don't freeze.
Hey, Jamie Hartman did it.
That's right. You know about U-Haul? I mean, I'm sure you do. It's just this big box truck that you throw all your stuff in it and you drive it, and you can go down south and go fish some stuff, man. You can fish Gunnersville all year round, Travis. So these guys are killing me up there, seeing all these winterizing my boat pictures and videos and all kinds of stuff.
It'd be tough on me, Tom. I'm not gonna lie.
It would me too, brother. I like some snow every once in a while, but
yeah,
I'll go there for some snow. I don't need to have it in my backyard.
I think we actually got snow before you the other day.
You did get snow before we did. That's
right.
Crazy.
That's
this
right.
year. I had a buddy in Coleman call me, and he was freaking out because y'all had snow before we did. So that's crazy. Well, man, what else do you want to talk about before we wrap this deal up? You got anything else you had slated to chit-chat about?
Man, Tom, I just appreciate the opportunity. I got into fishing because of my grandmother. She took me fishing. She took a chance on me when I was 3 years old. Took me cane pole fishing when I was, like I said, 3 years old. We caught crappie, we caught bass, we caught catfish, we caught brim. And my dad, at about the age of 7 or 8 years old, handed me my first 5,500. Actually, I think it was a 5,000C Ambassador, and showed me how to throw it. And a man by the name of Glenn Strickland took me fishing when I was 9 years old to my first tournament on LT, which we call is Lake Tuscaloosa. And I was able to win that tournament. And I would say that's how the fire started with me. And now it's carried over into what I would it's a passion now, If I don't win, if I don't lose, it's all the same to me. I've got a brotherhood built. This industry needs the people that's watching this video. Now the pros are very important. Don't get me wrong, but the guy that goes out and buys baits on Friday night for his tournament, he spends his $100 at the local tackle store, paying full price for baits. The industry has to have that guy to survive, and that's me. I'm speaking to myself. I'm speaking to 90% of the people that's watching this video. Guys, you are the heart, you are the salt of this industry. Without you, this sport would die. It would not no longer exist. So keep doing what you're doing. Try to be the best person you can. Try to make as many friends as you can in the industry. And keep doing what you're doing. Jack Baits has grown, just the year that I've been with him. Jack Baits has grown tremendously just by sharing a couple Facebook posts or just by buying a couple baits. Has helped this industry a lot. So keep doing what you're doing. You don't have to support Jack Baits. Just support fishing. Just support anything that you do in this industry. Just love it, man. Just do it with all of your heart, and that's I guess that's what's been laying on my heart this whole time we've been talking.
That's good, brother. I appreciate that, and I can't say enough for the comments and everything you've talked about tonight. We're gonna grab two more little things here, and then we'll let y'all go. Let's see. Drew Sanford says, "What's your favorite swim jig color?" Obviously, he's been not watching.
You don't know Drew, do
So
you,
we didn't
Tom?
talk about that.
Do you know Drew?
Oh
Tom?
no, I don't know Drew. He's been busy or something, or acting busy, one of the two. So
Scrubby
McScrubberson,
McScrubberson. Right here, Drew. This is it, baby. Order you some, man. I want you to pay full price.
That's right. Mr. Tim says, tell Micah Christmas is coming up and to drop a couple of them jigs at his neighbors.
I can do it. I can do it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, guys, thank you all for jumping on here. Micah, I can't thank you enough for getting on here and talking with us tonight and having a good time and,
yes.
Just really, really speaking the truth on a lot of these things and, sharing your knowledge with everyone that's on this this live video here. Guys, we're going to do this again next week, Wednesday, hopefully at 8 o'clock again. We will post on our page with the new guest of the week. Guys, let's throw in the comments down there, and let's all thank Micah for being here tonight. And we really appreciate his time, and obviously we appreciate you all as well. If you're in the Tuscaloosa area, head over to Fall Hooked Outdoors and pick up some baits after this weekend. If you're not in the Tuscaloosa area, head over to JaKKedbaits.com, JaKKed baits.com, and we'll get you guys hooked up with some of these baits Micah was talking about so you too can be a hammer. So, like I said, guys, I really appreciate it. Micah, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Tom.
Absolutely. And remember, guys, don't just hook them.
JaKK'em.
JaKKed 'em. See you guys.